This is Britain, and it couldn't be anywhere else in the whole wide world. And this is Britain too, Scotland, the Angus Glens. Britain at harvest time, the golden grain that soon will be grist to the mill. But sleepy scenes like these give only one facet of this island, because Britain means peace and quiet, and at the same time, the mighty roar of industry. People and power, as well as pretty places. Trade and traffic, and a technical complexity that has grown from the traditional, timeless things that are our heritage. The River Thames itself can show you the rich contrasts that have made Great Britain glorious. The grace, the wealth, the bustle, and just 30 miles away upstream at Sonning, where cool punts glide, this tranquil scene. And grace and power of a different kind. A watermill with roots reaching back to Roman times. This is the last working watermill on the Thames, producing with the water power it's used for centuries, 80,000 pounds of Sunblest flour a week. It's significant that this proud old mill should have a small but useful role to fill in the great Sunblest group of mills that has been built up in the last 2 years. For the 31 Sunblest mills, it's as many as that, have all been picked for two things, position and efficiency. Sonning's mill is dependent on the head of water that the lockkeeper holds behind his weirs, and most economical it is. But a water-powered mill is a minor curiosity seen with the large modern mill at Selby, Yorkshire. The mill's own grain barges come up on the tide from Hull to this smart mill that visibly dominates the town. A pneumatic plant intake sucks the grain up into the towering silo like a mammoth vacuum cleaner at 30 tons an hour. Electric power drives the mills because the new mill stream, cradled in concrete, is measured in volts and vast numbers of kilowatts. On the towpath, too, there's a new sort of horsepower that's in operation today. The Sunblest mill at Uxbridge, with a vast new grain storage silo growing at the rate of 6 inches every hour. A historic mill for which swans were once part of the rent. But it wasn't through historic sentiment that William King's mill, so near to London, was acquired by the Sunblest group. Vast milling power was needed to protect supplies to the Sunblest bakeries, because Sunblest are the biggest bakers there are in the country and in the Commonwealth, indeed in the whole world. Now, Sunblest are one of the biggest independent millers in existence, milling the best flour for the best bread, ensuring their own flour supplies, anticipating the dramatic changes there have been in world demands for wheat, meeting a situation where flour milling was being monopolized and, it is emphasized, serving in addition a large number of bakeries not in the Sunblest group. It's a precise scientific business, breaking the wheat berry, sifting and sorting it into its varied components of flour, cattle food, health-bred germ, semolina and so on. But there's one big crucial factor, experience. The instinct that an old mill hand like Jess here has acquired through 60 years of milling. The knack that enables him to set the brake roll, just so, through the touch of what they call a miller's thumb. That's one reason why Sunblest have taken over so many family mills and helped the families to modernize their plants. Look at this distribution plant in a Sunblest mill, still managed by the family that ran it when it was unmodernized and, let's face it, facing a shutdown in competition with the big milling combines. Today, there's little milling machinery as up-to-date as this. Why, these machines are with it, plan sifters, sorting out the diverse components of the wheat grain at every successive stage of its meticulous division. Now Sunblest have married tradition with progress. Today, there's streamlined power to assist experience and skill, and scientists at the Western research laboratories where quality control of milling and baking with research into other foods are the main aims. Here, they can take a sample of wheat, mill it in a miniature mill, and analyze its products so that the millers can know in advance the character of the grain in hand. It so happens that English wheat alone is not strong enough for making bread, apart from the fact that we only grow 1/3 of the wheat we need. We in this island are dependent upon farmers in every major wheat-producing country in the world. Tests are carried out here so that wheats can be skillfully blended into flours designed for making biscuits, bread, and baking in the home. Here, they're doing the all-important protein test. The best high-protein bread-baking wheat grows only on the prairies in Canada. This laboratory enables the millers to mix in the maximum quantity, consistent with perfect bread, of the wheat produced, for instance, in Angus, Scotland, near Montrose, where you'll find the northernmost mill in the British Isles. There are Sunblest mills down under in Australia, 20 more in South Africa, while the chain of them here at home is tantamount to a map of the United Kingdom. And it's not by accident that this mill, with the granite feel of northern Scotland, has become a Sunblest mill. Every mill in the group is near a grain port, or near a Sunblest bakery, or a wheat field. We've done the one thing that the security chiefs wanted the other millers to do. We've dispersed our mills to points which cut down transport costs. We've done this to get flexibility. And the country's defense experts are as pleased as we are, because our mills, and ours alone, are so uncentralized that in wartime they could never be wiped out. From Scotland to Northern Ireland. Today there's a big modern Sunblest flour mill sending its lorries through the famous Glens of Antrim, servicing the Irish bakery trade. Just look at that ribbon of loveliness, the Antrim Coast Road, built, they say, by a poet and a painter with an engineer to help. Belfast's a busy city and a grain port where ships can bring in the world's wheats which you need for baking bread at its best. So you'd expect to find a lively Sunblest mill at Belfast, and you'd be right. A Sunblest mill in busy Belfast, and we switch to the peace of the Devonshire countryside. From the bustle of the city to a quiet beauty spot. In fact, to be accurate, to a village called Thorverton, which has only one industry, the flour mill. An old family mill which, until Sunblest felt it wrong to leave themselves at the mercy of a limited number of suppliers and went themselves into the milling business, was a mill that was doomed. Good, efficient country mill though it was. Look at it, there on the Exe, the river where superb salmon can be hooked at the very confluence of the river proper and our own mill stream. Sunblest saved this village industry, and they're pleased they could do so. What enabled them was the fact that it was near both a wheat-growing area and a Sunblest bakery as well.